Our top story at this hour, the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission has officially launched the verification of voters in the voters' register. The launch was presided over by the IEBC chairman, Wafula Chebukati, at their Anniversary Towers offices. And the chairman says that Kenyans can start verifying their details on a Thursday, which is tomorrow, after the launch that was made today, or the launch that was done today. The registration exercise or the verification exercise or the audit exercise is expected to cover more than 19 million Kenyans who are listed as voters ahead of the August 8th general poll. Let's now speak to Kazungu Katana, who is a political analyst, on some of these timelines that have been given out by the IEBC. Thank you so much for coming in. Always a pleasure to have you on News Desk. Do you think we are on the right track as far as preparations are concerned for the general election?
Thank you, Akisa, for inviting me to the studio to kind of see what is happening around.
Yeah.
I think, in my opinion, yes, we are very much on track. I think IEBC, I don't purport to speak for them, but as an observer from outside, I think they are doing their best to make things happen. And I think if you look at what has been happening lately, in terms of, the party nominations, the fallouts, the petitions, and the cases in courts, yet IEBC is able to define itself and follow its mandate, as it were, up to today. I think so far so good.
So far, so good. You've mentioned petitions and appeals. From the timelines that he has given, political parties are expected to submit their list of aspirants by close of business today. Keep in mind that some appeals, there are still disgruntled voices. There are still people who are waiting for results of their appeals. How would you assess how the nominations exercise have been conducted, how the tribunals have done their work, and of course with the timelines that they are expected to meet from the IEBC?
In terms of the party primaries, I think everyone has an opinion about this.
Definitely.
And if you ask me, to be honest, it was in some situations they were not actually elections; they were selections. Let's just characterize these primaries to have been symbolic. They really did not reflect the true sense of party primaries and free choices and independence of party intra-party democracy, and so it was a crisis in many ways, and that's why we found so many people left the parties to be independent. That's not the only solution. I mean, because really, some of these people perhaps would have remained in their parties if they witnessed democracy at play. But you cannot say that there was, well, not even absolute, but the sense of democracy really lacked in the party primaries. And then this, of course, followed the petitions at the party level for tribunals.
Yes.
And then, of course, at the Office of Registration of Political Parties Tribunal as well. I think they did well. Even the tribunals within the parties, or some of them, did very well. But I think the ORPP, the Political Parties Registration Tribunal, I think did best in this. I think they really came out with the decisions that really encourage democracy within our political party system.
Yes. But do you think, are we staring at a situation where, even as the IEBC expects that political parties will submit the list of aspirants by close of business today, are we staring at a situation where some aspirants might actually be locked out of this exercise? Remember, for independence, the deadline is long past.
Yeah, and I think there is if I've understood the IEBC timelines well, there is also the provision for any complaints. So even though the lists from political parties is supposed to be submitted by today, yet the provision for complaints, for party resolutions and all that is still there.
It's still there.
So the time is there. I mean, whoever has complaints, I think the time is there for these people, for these candidates to have their cases.
But won't they be disadvantaged? Because even as the cases drag on, we have barely 3 months to the general election. at what time do they start now going to the ground?
Oh,
And
come on.
Well, of course, IEBC timelines say that it's
Yeah.
you start campaigning 2 months to the general election.
Right.
But is it in the interest of political parties for this kind of appeals to drag on, to lock these people out?
No, it is not in the interest of political parties, not also in the interest of IEBC as well. It's not in the interest of anyone. But that's what democracy is all about. I mean, it's a form of a process of law that has to be followed. And if it is there within our electoral laws that there has to be settlement of disputes at some point, we have to respect that. I don't think it will disadvantage anyone in the... Well, those who are waiting for decisions obviously are still scared. You know, you don't know which way the decision will take.
Still.
But you know what? You get prepared. Get yourself prepared for any eventuality. Get prepared and say, I am in, until such time that you are out. So I think if it is all said and done, the process is flowing in slowly but surely. And those who are aggrieved also, it's good for them to follow the law, and they are following it. And once that's determined, if it is determined in favor of whoever it is, then the process should continue. Yep.
The process of verifying details as a voter begins tomorrow and runs through a whole month. But this time round, it's going to be different. Not what we are used to, sending a text to a specific number given out by the IEBC or looking it up online. This time round, you have to physically go, as they're using the Kenya Integrated Electoral Management System. How do you think this is going to work out for Kenyans?
For Kenyans, I think generally it's a good thing to do. Technology as it is, we have come to realize that it's not absolutely secure. If elections can be hacked in major democracies where development has been there for 200 years or and over, anything can happen in our process as well. So I think the need for someone to be there, although it will disadvantage others, maybe the people with disabilities, but those are the sacrifices we have to make as a democracy. But the actual presence of individuals in the polling station, that will prove what I am after as a voter. Are all my particulars in order, so that when I go to vote on August the 8th, then I know that I got whatever I wanted to be able to cast my vote. So I think I buy that. I think it's a good thing.
Do you think this system, we've had cases during the final voter registration exercise, there were complaints of double registration from even our leaders. So is this new system going to wipe away all that?
It should. It should be able to wipe away, because I mean the physical presence of an individual is different from using any other forms of technology. So this will help eliminate the previous inconsistencies that we had. Plus the fact that also there's the auditing by this auditing firm, PMTG, whatever it is. Yeah, that's right. Who are also running their parallel kind of voter checking exercise. So that will help a lot, I think. Yeah.
All right, Kazungu Katana, thank you so much for coming in and helping us just analyze a number of the issues. Of course, we will have more details for you as far as IEBC and the timelines that should be followed are concerned. Kazungu Katana is a political analyst. And of course, thank you very much for joining us. Well,